and be having a chance to at least have a very initial opportunity to get to know you all. Um, as you know, I'm the new executive director of LSA. I've been in my job for about 10 months now, and have the tremendous pleasure of working with V and working with Jordy, who you'll get to know a little later, and working with Deanna, who you'll also get to know a little later. And we're here because this is the celebration of 100 years of the Linguistic Society of America. For 100 years, LSA has been working to advance the scientific study of language and its applications. And each of you, as students studying linguistics, are uniquely positioned to understand the value of what linguistics has to offer, understand the challenges of the fact that, like so many disciplines, we have a growing understanding about what it means to make the world a better place, and that our disciplines haven't always done that. And so coming to this celebration in New York is a really special moment for us to think thoughtfully about how we come together and the implications of our actions and how we can embody an LSA that is what we want it to be. So if you can change the slide for me, V. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're coming together in New York for this annual meeting in like one of the most exciting cities in the world, to talk about one of the most important and exciting disciplines in the world. And the fact that you all have agreed to be volunteers and help us in that is just tremendous and so appreciated. I'm going to be talking a little bit further on about this, but we really view you all as part of the host team as volunteers. And your role is going to be an important part of making this a successful meeting. So thank you for volunteering. Thank you for joining us in this endeavor. And we're excited to talk to you more about it. And I'd love to see your faces if you guys are inclined to turn on your videos. If you're not, for whatever reason, yes, I can see some folks waving. Thank you. I totally get that there are reasons why people want to keep their privacy, and that's absolutely fine. But just know that you're welcome, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay, back to you, V.
Thanks, Margaret. Now to start with, and should have done this from the beginning, we'd like to introduce you to our staff team on the day so that you familiarize with ourselves, see how we look like, and feel free to come up and say hello, especially if you have any questions during your time being volunteers with us. Before we get into our team, you see all of our staff on the side wearing this black badge with a staff label on it. So again, any questions, feel free to stop us and ask away. What I'm showing on the screen right now is our team and how we look like. So I'll invite Margaret to introduce the LSA team, and then I'll invite Deanna to introduce our event consultant team. Margaret, over to you.
Okay, so well, you've now met me already, and you've already met V. So Jordy, if you'll just unmute for a second and say your name and what your role is here.
Hi, so my name is Jordy, and I'm LSA's Business and Administrative Assistant. So I've been with LSA now for 6 months part-time.
And it's great to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Wonderful. And over to Deanna to introduce the event consultant team.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Deanna, and I'm on the event consulting team. I am the person, I'll tell you a little bit about each one of us and kind of what we do on our team. Myself, I am, will be doing mostly logistics. So you'll see me running around doing all sorts of things. Margaret Cloyd is in charge of registration. So you'll be working, those of you who are working on registration, she will be your point person. I will help during the training sessions, but she will probably be the one answering most questions. She'll be working with Jordy at our, what we call our help desk. Next is Lindsay Plath. She is one of my colleagues, so she'll be helping me with logistics. And we have meetings all over the hotel on the lower level, the second floor to the third floor and the fifth floor. So she and I will be running all around, making sure everything is perfect for our guests. And then Madison is a very important part of our team. She will be handling most of what happens in our main plenary sessions, as well as she is the contact for anything regarding our sponsors and partners. So we look forward to working with all of you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Deanna. Now your on-site contact, and I've realized I have not updated these slides properly. Deanna mentioned that Margaret Gloy will be around the registration area. So if you have any questions, any general queries, Margaret is your go-to person. Again, she will be stationed at the registration area together with Jody and Godley from our team. If you guys are volunteering for the auctions area, Brian Joseph will be your contact person. Again, if you have any questions from our delegates, from our guests about any auctions related questions or the 100 years anniversary celebration, Brian Joseph is the go-to person for you guys. And I'll make sure I'll let Brian know to come up and say hello when he arrives at the registration desk, so you sort of see him in person as well. All right, now the table has turned. We'd like to invite you all to at least unmute yourself, or if you're too shy, pop your information in the chat. We'd love to know your full name, which degree you are undertaking, from which institutions, which year of the programs you are in. Before I invite you to do that, what I show on the screen right now is an image of the volunteer badge. We have prepared all of these for you, and please wear these badges during your time volunteering with us so that our participants and delegate knows who to ask for help as they need it. So I will look at our participant list and call out your name. Please again unmute or type your information in the chat. Pardon me if I'm getting your name wrong. I'm still learning the entire intricacies of linguistics. So if I say your name incorrectly, please correct me and say your name properly. Can I start with Adeline first, and then Catherine, and then Connor, please? Adeline?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hi. So my name is Alton Halaeva, and I'm from University of South Carolina. I'm in my second year of PhD in the linguistics program. And the expected graduation year is ideally 2027. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alton. Catherine, please.
Hi, my name is Catherine Mott. I go by Katie most of the time. I'm at the University of Kentucky in their master's program, and I am in my last third year of the program. I should be graduating either in the spring or summer, depending on what happens.
We wish you all the best. Congratulations. You see Deanna clapping because that's her hometown. Connor, please.
Hi, I'm Connor Rouillet. I'm a fifth-year PhD student at Ohio State University. So yeah.
Welcome, Connor. I've just popped the order in the chat, so we don't have to stop and wait for me. So can I get Emily, then Jessica, and Jonathan?
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily. I am a second-year PhD student in linguistics at Stanford. And yeah, really excited to come to New York.
Welcome, Emily. Jessica, please.
Hi, my name is Jessica Holtz. I'm a fourth-year PhD student, ABD at UAlbany. Was there something else I was supposed to add?
Your
was that it?
expected graduation year?
Oh, sorry, thank you. Sometime either the coming semester or the one after, whenever the dissertation is finished.
We'll cross our fingers for you. Jonathan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan. I'm a first-year PhD student at Stanford. Nice to meet everyone. Yeah.
Welcome, and look forward to seeing you in New York. Lincoln, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Lyndon Dedvuka. I'm a second year PhD student at Ohio State. My expected graduation year is 2027. I'll be helping in the auction. I actually had a meeting with Brian Joseph yesterday and my camera stopped working yesterday. So that is actually the reason it's not on right now. So sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. We look forward to seeing you
Thank you.
in 2 weeks' time. Stephen.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephen. I'm from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. It's my 5th year in my PhD program, and I expect to graduate in 2024. Very excited to be a student volunteer and very excited to get involved in the meeting. Thank you.
Welcome, Stephen. Talia.
Hi, I'm Talia. I am a sophomore at Brown. I'm an undergrad and I study linguistics, so I'm going to be graduating in 2026. Yay, with a bachelor's. Yay.
Almost there. Sue Yang.
Hi everyone, my name is Xue Yang. I'm from New York University, so you can sort of say I'm a local. And I recently graduated with a linguistics major at the beginning of this year, and I expected to enroll in a graduate school in September next year.
Welcome to the team. And I've just realized we see a very familiar face. ZJ, please. I think I met you in Denver.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I volunteered last year. I'm happy to be able to do it again. I'm ZJ Rubin. I'm a high school student in Pennsylvania, currently graduating 2026. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome again. Did I miss anyone from our list? I think we are doing okay. Okay. Next, I have already emailed you your timing on the roster, so I thought just to display it again here just for fun and so that you see who else will be in the group with you on the day. So this is the 4th and the 5th, and this is the 6th and the 7th. I'll email you the slides afterwards so you have some sort of information with you. Okay, now benefits of being a volunteer with us, and JJ, feel free to join me and add on anything that I missed from your experience in Denver. We basically, and I volunteer a lot when I was at college too. I saw this as an opportunity for us to get behind the scenes of all the activities of the professions. At the time, I was able to speak to very prominent people in the field, and I know that a lot of our LSA members are kind of the rock star in this sector, so that gives you guys a bit of an edge to start the conversations and connect with them easier. One very special element of the LSA annual meeting in 2024, as Margaret mentioned earlier, is our 100 years anniversary. This is the once in a lifetime in the history of LSA, so we can't wait to have you guys as part of that celebration. As part of the conversation today, and the reason why we invite you to unmute and introduce yourself so that you know who else will be with you on the day, is a good way for you guys to know new people, meet different students from different universities, expand your network, and learn the diverse of areas of linguistic specialty. So we hope that is another benefit that you can reap from this opportunity. Being part of the registration desk or the auctions area will require a lot of organizational skill, administrative skills, attention to details, communications with people, especially speaking to people who you have not met before. So I see that as a huge way to develop interpersonal and communication skills. So hopefully you guys be able to maximize the opportunities there. Feel free to talk to people, say hi, welcome them to the registration and to the events, and I'm sure you'll be greeted with a lot of smile and happiness as the day goes through. We do have the financial incentive as we provide you guys with through the registration. Can I quickly pause and ask, have you guys all registered for the events in 2 weeks' time? I see a lot of thumbs up and nods, so thank you so much for being prompt with that. And last but not least, I do hope that you enjoy the experience with us. Now that you have a different view from how this entire programs and events operated, you guys are all LSA members, so we love to receive feedback from you after this experience, either as a volunteer or as a participant in the event. Feel free to talk to any of our team that we have introduced to you earlier in the conversations, or you already have my email address, so feel free to email me afterwards if there are things you reckon that we can do differently, or if there are things that we should look at and add on, or any suggestions are more than welcomes for the better success of the annual meetings in the future. I know that I run through that really fast. Is there any questions or anything you are not sure of? We are moving on. Next, I'd like to invite Margaret back to give you guys a bit of a rundown of our ethics statements and the reason behind us sharing this information with you. As Margaret mentioned earlier, you guys will be part of the host team together with us in New York. Participants will see you as a representative of the Linguistic Society of America. So we'd love for our alignments of values and ethics on the same level ground so that we can represent the society better. Over to you, Margaret. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, V. Yeah, this whole idea of you all being part of the host team. So if we think about, if you imagine that you were throwing a party in your house and you invited a bunch of people to come over to your house, and you have friends in different, parts of your communities, people who might not have known each other before, but you know them all. And you would want those people to come to your house. You would want them to feel comfortable and welcomed. You would probably go and introduce people to each other who might not know each other before, but you're like, oh, you have something in common with this person. I want to introduce you all. Or if you saw somebody wandering around looking lost and you'd be like, oh, are you looking for the bathroom? Go down to the end of the hall and turn right. You would be anticipating people's needs and trying to respond to them. And as part of the host team, that's what I'm really hoping. That's what we're all really hoping that you all will do. That you won't be on your phones looking down, waiting for someone to come talk to you, because people won't. You're going to be eyes up, looking around, looking for people who might need a little guidance or just a smile and to say hello. A lot of times if you're walking past someone and you're kind of feeling alone and you're by yourself, and a lot of people, when they come to these meetings, they're going to be more than 800 people there. And if someone is coming and they don't know a lot of people, right? Maybe this is their first meeting, like they're just looking for like a friendly face in the crowd. And when you all look up and say to someone who you see who's walking by themselves, hey, good morning. I hope you have a great day. You're going to make such a difference for that person in them feeling acknowledged as a human being and that they're not alone in that space. So if we talk about that at a big level, at one level, that's just like being a host. But at another level, it's consistent with our ethics, where we think about ourselves as being responsible to the society, to the discipline, for holding the highest ethical standards. So we're looking for accountability and avoiding harm and benefiting others. And that idea that we are here and in our roles to benefit others is part of the core ethical principles and responsibilities of the discipline. We also have an expectation of civility and equality. And so as a volunteer, if you see someone who is, if you see a situation where someone's not being treated with civility and respect, I'm not asking you all to jump in front of anybody or jump into the middle of an argument or anything like that, right? But you can walk up to someone and just say, hey, how are you doing? Is there, you know, there are ways to create a warm and inviting space and create a sense of civility and equality. And I want to give an example of something that happened at one point. You know, if you're at the registration desk and someone sees that, oh, look, we've got ribbons for gender pronouns, right? And someone's like, these things are so stupid. I don't know why anybody does this, right? How are you going to respond at that moment? Now, you don't have to give that person a lecture, but at the same time, you can say it's your choice whether you put it on or not, but it's really meaningful to a lot of people. And leave it at that, right? So it's part of us creating this environment. And that we have, within our ethics, we have responsibilities to our participants, to our communities, and to the larger public. And that's also something to keep in mind. There are going to be journalists wandering around our meeting. They should have press badges on that identify them that way. But there's also hotel staff. I mean, how we represent the discipline in this meeting is part of our responsibility as linguists. V, if you could switch the slide for me. Thank you. In the meeting, everybody who's attending this meeting has signed off on the code of conduct for events. And if you've registered for the meeting, you've signed off on it as well. But I would encourage you to go back to the meeting site and look at the terms and conditions tab and reread the code of conduct for events. Because it'll help if you're looking at it through the lens of being a volunteer. I think that it will be helpful to you, that we are trying to uphold our highest standards of professional integrity, that we have expectations for civility and, oh, I'm on the wrong slide myself. Sorry about that. So in terms of our purpose in this code of conduct, it talks about the fact that all forms of uncollegiality and harassment are considered serious professional misconduct. And this is a time, we're in a place in our world right now where there are a lot of controversial things happening. And we all need to be really conscious of the fact that as volunteers, as people who are on staff, as linguists in this meeting, we have a role in making sure that people can express their ideas and can be heard in a way that is professional and appropriate, not aggressive, not belittling. This is part of what we need to do as people, not only who've agreed to not do those things ourselves, but also agreeing to help come to the aid of other people. So we are really engaged with promoting the kind of inclusive behavior that is consistent with our ethics and with our code of conduct for events. And again, I'll just go back to that sort of core point that V has made and that I made at the onset of all of this, and that is that you all are part of the host team. And to some extent, you're not only part of the host team, I mean, you've agreed to be part of the host team for this meeting while you're volunteers, but you all also, because you are linguists, because you adhere to our code of ethics and our code of conduct for events, you all are part of the host team for the discipline. And I really want to encourage you to go back, reread these statements, and think about your own role in helping create the kind of discipline and the kind of conversations that we all want to engage with, and helping people feel comfortable and welcomed as part of that host team. So thank you so much again. And V, back to you. Oh no, I'm not done yet. I've got one more thing. Sorry. So let's see. Lovely. We all know while we can talk about our goals, that things don't always go well, that sometimes things happen and people are upset. Things happen and that make people uncomfortable, and maybe they're not fully upset, but they're just not quite comfortable. I want to let you all know that there are two different kind of pathways that people can go down and that you can let people know about. One is that if people feel like something happened that they're really uncomfortable with, and they want to report it to the LSA directly, please ask them to come talk to Deanna or come talk to me. They can send me an email. My email's on the screen. I also freely share my cell phone. If somebody wants to text me, they can. If you want to jot down my phone number, it's 202-368-9044. That's my cell. You can text me or you can give that to someone. Thank you, V, for putting it in the chat. If someone has a problem and they want me to know about it, tell them they can contact me. There's also an online anonymous form that's available on the annual meeting program. It's in the LSA Code of Conduct for Events under reporting. If somebody wants to make an anonymous complaint to the LSA, they can go to that form and they don't have to put their email in if they don't want to. It's entirely up to them. But people may not yet know what they want to do. They're not sure if they want to tell LSA. They just feel a little uncomfortable. They want to have a chance to talk through what their options are. This is where our external conference ombuds can be a fantastic resource. The ombuds is Batabile Motembeni. She is a coach, a mediator, and the founder of a conflict resolution company called Untangled Resolutions. Her contact information will be in the online program. It's not there yet, but it will be. She is really quite amazing. She's the campus ombuds for the University of Syracuse. She's from South Africa herself. She went to Princeton, got a law degree at Columbia, has done extensive work in being a mediator. She is part of the International Ombuds Association. She's really a very special person, and she's someone who people can reach out to. There will be a form where people can put in their name, and within 24 hours, she will get back in contact with them and help them think through what they want to do. That is completely confidential. It won't necessarily go to anybody in LSA unless somebody wants it to. So I want you all to know about those two options. I will also say that if you see something that you see as problematic, if you're in a room and you start seeing what you see as an uncivil argument breakout or a situation that makes you uncomfortable, please immediately let me and Deanna know. Or if you only see one of us. I'd rather hear about things that you're not sure are an issue than have something happening that we don't know about. So please feel free to let me know. But as you interact with people, know that there are two options. People can report to LSA, or they can contact the external conference ombuds if they're not sure what they want to do and they want to talk through their options, or they just want a sounding board. Okay, now back over to V.
Thanks, Margaret. And the next slides, I am going to invite Jordy Godley to share his view with you guys about dress code. Before I hand the mic over to Jordy, I just want to take a step back and explain to you guys how diverse this industry is. Jordy is joining us on a part-time basis, and on the other side, he's also a fashion consultant. That's why he's the best person to talk about this item with you guys. The other reminders, and I can't stress this enough, please wear the volunteer lanyard that will be provided to you during your time being volunteering with us. From the participants' perspective, please also make sure that you see them wearing their badge the entire time they are together with us as part of the program. That's it from me. Over to you, Jordy.
Hi everyone, thank you. So first and foremost, I just recommend everyone bringing their own personal style into what they wear, feel comfortable and feel confident at all times. We do want to present a level of professionalism. So for me, that would probably not be wearing like ripped jeans. But basically anything that you feel, comfortable and confident in and that you feel presents a level of professionalism will be great. We just want to make sure again, no ripped jeans, or things like that. But we just want to make sure that you feel comfortable and confident and that, we're all dressed appropriately. And if you have any questions on dress code or would need any advice, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm happy to help you with that.
Thanks, Jody. Sorry, Jody, did I cut you off?
No, you didn't. I said you're welcome.
Thank you. I'll also add another aspect of business casual to my interpretation, and to me that means no athletes or gym wears or tights or very short tank top. I mean, they look
Definitely.
great on a Sunday brunch, but probably not the best for our event.
Yeah, definitely. Because we are representing LSA, and so we want to make sure that we have that professional level of dress.
Okay, I will take a quick pause to see if you guys have any questions on anything we have presented so far. And thanks, Stephen, for a very good question in the chat. The Ombud service is available freely for members as well as the participants at the 2024 LSA's annual meetings. And that's really the end of it. Again, one last chance for questions. Or if you want to share anything you've learned today, if there are anything you look forward to in New York.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Was this helpful? Do you feel like you're a little more prepared having had this training? What do people think?
Yes, I
This was
think it's
super
very
helpful.
helpful. Yeah.
I volunteered the last couple of years, and it was nice to at least kind of see people and be aware of more expectations, because there really wasn't anything like that the last 2 years. We just kind of showed up and went to where we were supposed to go and did what they told us to do there. So it was nice to have something beforehand.
Oh, that's great. Jessica?
you. So I was curious, I believe this is the same hotel where the annual meeting was held a few years ago when it was in New York. If I'm right about that. And I was just curious, will the registration desk be in the same location as it was last time? I don't know if that's something that's been decided yet.
Jessica, I'll jump in on this one. I actually can't answer that question because I'm a newbie and everybody on our team is new. But I can tell you that it's going to be in the second floor lobby area.
Okay,
Is that where
I believe
it was
it's the
at?
same.
Then it's the same.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. And you remind me of something important. Let me just get to it. Deanna, I'm going to share my screen on all of the floor plans on the screen. Do you mind taking a quick run of important locations on the floor plan so that we are familiarize ourselves with where things are?
And while you're doing that shift, I just want to point out to everybody the question that came up in the chat about, are we allowed time for lunch during our shifts? And I just want to echo Deanna's response that we are asking that you all eat before or after your shift. Whether your registration, wherever you're volunteering, please eat before or after your shift.
Deanna, over to you, please, if you can give us a quick run of the venue.
Sure. We are asking all guests because the hotel is, again, everything is located on different floors, so there is a lot going on. But if we could pull up the second floor, that's the main floor that most of you as volunteers will be working on. And be with your mouse, if you would kind of point to that area there where the elevators are, where it says elevators.
No, actually,
Um,
over to your
a little bit-
left where the
Yes.
escalators are.
So yeah, so this is really where registration is going to happen, as well as the silent auction. Those are definitely, this is sort of the gathering area, if you will. And there will be very clear registration tables set up for the registration volunteers, and then there will be a couple of silent auction table, almost like a desk situation set up for Thursday and Friday before the actual auction items themselves are displayed. But even that is going to happen in this lobby area. So this is definitely where you want to become familiar with. I know that for those of you who are registration volunteers, for both the first and the second shift on that first day, we have you coming a little bit early so that we can run through the registration process with you before guests start arriving, just to get you trained in and make you familiar with the area. We plan to point out some things because that way you'll kind of know somewhat directing people if you need to. And then same way with silent auction, I have a feeling that Brian is probably going to show up at the beginning of your shifts and run through the different processes for silent auction and explain the forms and things that you're going to be working with. And then the other things that are on this particular floor in the Metropolitan Ballroom East, that's where the general session is going to be set up. Exhibits will be in the west area. Posters are in Central Park East and West.
Go over to your right, the beige floor area that is, as you look at the screen to the right of the Metropolitan Ballroom. There you go. Yes, that's where the posters are.
And again, we will have signage up for this second floor to point these things out. In addition, we're sending out messages to attendees to let them know that, you know, once you get on property, you will probably want to pull up your own personalized schedule and, you know, walk the property a little bit to know where the rooms are. You know, we did a site visit, and within walking the space a couple of times, I pretty much knew where things, you know, at least where things were. And again, on each floor, right at the base of the elevators, we'll have a sign showing exactly what rooms are on each floor. So is it perfect? No, it's probably not perfect, but I feel like that the venue has plenty of signage. And once people start getting into moving throughout their different sessions, they'll be able to find their way quite well, I believe.
Thanks, Deanna. And you can tell this is my first time using the Annotate, so I'm still learning the technology. Talia, did I see that you had a question before?
Yeah, I was wondering, so I'm going to be volunteering for the registration, but then also for the 5-minute linguist thing. Will we be able to kind of engage with that, with what's being presented, or is that like more like a outside the door kind of volunteering position?
This is a good question, Margaret. Can you explain what our volunteer for 5 minutes linguists will be doing? Thank you.
So Deanna, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that you're going to be near the door. So basically what we need, especially on that night, is we're going to need volunteers at the door reminding people to have their badges on. So the doors can be open. You can be like watching what's going on, and you know, but especially in the beginning, you're really going to be talking to people as they're coming by and going, hey, would you mind going and getting a badge? And they're like, oh, I've lost my badge. Well, you know, just go right over to the reg desk. They can get you a replacement badge. Oh, I left it in my hotel room. I'm really sorry. It's not far away, but you need to have a badge on to come in. One of the things that we're dealing with is this hotel is on Times Square, right? So anybody can walk into this hotel. And we all live in the world we live in. We want to know that the people who are in that meeting space are the people who are supposed to be there. Now, do you need to tackle anybody at the door and say, you can't come in, you don't have your, no, but we just want to encourage people. And if someone is kind of like they don't have a badge on and you're like, I'm getting an off vibe, right? Something's making me a little uncomfortable about this person's behavior. You go straight over to Margaret Cloyd, who's going to be sitting at the help desk. You text me, you let us know. Chances are it's no problem. Like there's not an issue, but it's a good idea to ask, you'll be asking people if they have badges. Does that help? Okay, cool.
Thanks for that, Margaret. I'm seeing Alton's questions in the chat. Basically, we do have some copies of the print programs.
I can probably take that one, V. So as far as there will not be a printed, there will not be a printed program. All of our guests are able to go to the microsite, and let's say that they want to know any sessions involving a certain sister society or teaching. They could search for the word teaching, and all of those sessions are going to come up, and it's going to say exactly where it is, what floor it's on, and then they can make their way to the floor. We're really trying to turn the page and be a digital driven event this year. So there's not a lot of printouts. We will have some printed copies of the registration for people who want to purchase that. A lot of them are purchasing. I think we have 60 some people out of 800 that have chosen to purchase a printed one. But it's much easier if they look on the online and don't rely on the registration people to answer those questions unless there's really a concern. There will be a sign on every registration desk that has a QR code for the program. So all they got to do is scan the QR code. It should take them right to the program, and they can use the search tool to find anything that they need. And then there's a second QR code that is the layouts of the hotel floors, just as V pulled up, will take them directly to that. And again, with the signage that's provided, they should be able to find those things. But certainly, as long as we don't have 25 people in line, if you would like to take the extra step to help people try and locate things, by all means, we would encourage that.
If I can jump in there for one moment, I would really encourage all of you all to take out your phones or your whatever mobile device you use the most. Go to the microsite on that device. We put in the link in the chat here, or you can go to the LSA homepage and click on annual meetings and go click on the need more information, and you'll end up on the microsite. And then add it to your homepage. If you all know how to do that, but for me, I was very proud of myself that I found that if I went to the bottom of that screen, once I was on it, there was a little up arrow and I could click on that, and one of the options was add to homepage. At that point, I can go, as soon as I'm on my phone, I can open that page. It opens instantly, right? I've got in the top right-hand, top corner, left-hand corner of my screen. It instantly takes me there. People can bookmark sessions. It's super easy to add a bookmark to a session. At that point, you can go and look at just your sessions, and it creates a day-by-day schedule of sessions. So if you see somebody, especially some of our older members who might not be tech natives, internet natives, if you could go to them and say, would you like some help with that? I'd be happy to help you. right? I mean, you may find people handing you their phone. All right, we'll say, would it be okay if I put it on your home screen for you? Can I show you how to get to the program? Here's how you like, take a little time, show them how to do it, and get yourself really familiar with it ahead of time. The other thing to know is that, as Deanna mentioned, people have the option to buy a printed program for $30. About 60 people chose to pre-order a printed program. We're going to have about 150 copies there. So there'll be about 90 copies on site that people can buy if they want to for $30. So if you see someone who's just like, this is driving me crazy, right? You can say to them, you know what? You can go buy a printed program if you want to. They're at the help desk, right? And just let people know. Okay, that might have been going on a bit too long, but hopefully some of it was helpful.
Thanks, Margaret and Deanna. I'm conscious of the time. We have about 10 minutes left. Is there anyone, do you guys still have any other questions, or are we feeling okay for New York? I'm seeing some nods from Catherine saying thank you for that. Otherwise, we can close the training and you have 10 minutes back in your day. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'll send out the recording shortly. Any further questions, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, travel safely, and we look forward to seeing you in New York.
Be well, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Vic.
you.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you guys.